Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on this makeup look, and it is basically my no makeup. Unfortunately, throughout the video it looks a little bit darker than usual because outside it's actually raining like crazy. It's cloudy and it's gross. But this is what it ends up looking like, and it's just a very slight kind of little bit of makeup kind of to make yourself look a little bit better than normal. But if you want to know how I did it, stay tuned and keep watching. And I'm so sorry I'm doing this, but I'm in my bathroom so that you guys can actually see what I look like without the whole terrible lighting thing. So, see you in a bit. Using the Bare Minerals foundation in the cap, I'm going to be taking a NYX brush. Now, this is one of my favorite mineral brushes to use because, I don't know, the tips just kind of are more pointy and I feel like it gets more product on and puts them on a little bit evenly, like a little bit more evenly than my Sigma brushes. But anyways, I'm gonna just tap off excess and then place it wherever my face needs coverage and then just blend it in. Now you can tell that it's barely there. Now I'm gonna tell you the truth. On camera you guys can barely see how much makeup I'm actually putting on. Now the truth is, a lot of you are going to say that I don't need makeup and whatever. I understand that, but I'm trying to show you how I would do a no makeup because the basic thing is you want it to look like you're not wearing makeup, but you're actually wearing makeup. Do you get what I'm saying? So the thing is, you want to make your skin tone even. So I would use a foundation that is going to give you the best results, but at the same time gonna look like it's your actual skin tone. So I really like mineral makeup because it's the one makeup that you can layer as much as you want, and looking in the mirror, I still can't see it's there. Now you kind of have your little base. Now I would recommend sticking to a liquid concealer because I feel like the Bare Minerals concealer and everything, they're great, but you can totally tell because they run into lines, and because it's a powder, it doesn't really look so great underneath the eyes. I'm going to be using my MAC one because I just need to finish this up. So I'm going to be using this one, but you could totally use the other one as well. So I'm going to squeeze it on the back of my hand just a little bit. You don't even need that much. And this is the moment where you put on wherever like you have blemishes or imperfections. If you have an area where you have some sort of a imperfection, like a blemish or a scar or anything, this is where I would recommend putting the concealer on it. Make sure it's liquid and make sure it matches your skin tone as close as possible. And what you would do from that moment is then take the foundation and reapply it on top of that area. Now another thing I want to remind you, when you are normally not wearing makeup, the under eyes are not shiny. And after using a liquid concealer, the under eyes become shiny. So one of my favorite powders to use to fix that is the Rimmel Stay Matte. Now this is one of those really cheap products, but I really love it. I also want to say that I love the CoverGirl powders because those are the types of powders that when you put it underneath the eyes, you can barely tell it's there. It doesn't look like powder, it just kind of sets in really nicely. And I'm just using one of those application sponges that you can get at Target or any drugstore. Now another thing I want to mention is when you place this underneath, only tap it, don't rub, or else you'll remove all the product. Another thing is, try to take the translucent ones. Anything with color will always pack on a little bit too much and kind of give you an awkward, I don't know, sometimes it gives you an awkward beige shade. Because right now all you want to worry about is using something that will just mattify it rather than add more coverage, if you know what I mean. So this is the translucent one in case you are wondering. Another thing I'm going to do is, well, I'm not going to be using this for any other area. I'm just going to pack the remainder on my nose, but nowhere else. If you do get oily, I would recommend using some sort of powder, but do not use a mattifying powder that's like completely matte because it will just look unnatural on your face. So now that we did that, we need to start working on the contour and all such things. So by using a lighter concealer, you already kind of started sort of like a contouring thing with your face, but you do want to use some sort of a matte bronzer. Now, when thinking of matte bronzers, there are two that come to mind. Number one is the Hoola Bronzer by Benefit, and then the other one is the Smooth Skin Bronzer by NYC. Now the NYC one, I can show you both of the colors right now to show you kind of a comparison. These are the two colors. This one's a little bit more of like a mud brown, and this one's a little bit kind of warmer. Now for me, warm tones are okay, but not always, so I'm going to stick with this one. But if you were kind of a warmer tone, maybe a little bit tanner than me, I would totally recommend the NYC one because it would give you a more natural look. But if you're someone who's a little bit too pale, stick to the Hulu one because it won't make you orange, because that's something that we are very scared of, I guess, because for no makeup you really want to make sure that you look your best and don't look a little bit like an Oompa Loompa. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush. You never, never, never want to take anything that's too like dense in one little area or anything that's like really small. Take something big. If you don't have it, use a powder brush. I would even recommend using like a kabuki of this size just to kind of dust it on your face. But at the moment, I'm just going to use this one. So we're going to just dust it inside the box, get a good amount of the product, tap it off inside the box. You don't want to waste anything. Start right here, which is the place next to your ear that when you make a fishy face, it's kind of like hollow. So we're going to apply it in there, and then we're going to start on the other side. Really work it into the hairline. Now you want to do this really lightly, but just by adding just a tiny bit, it already kind of adds to it. Now we're not going to make ourselves super duper dark, but we are going to add a little bit of color to our face because the foundation that we use is definitely not something that I would call like pretty. You don't want just one side of a canvas. You are 3D, so we're making you look 3D. If the bronzer is too dark for you, or if you are worried about it, bring this down your neck a little bit and put it a little bit on your ears. That way, the kind of darkness that it makes, it will slightly look a little bit less weird if you put it on your ears and on your neck. Start working on the cheek color. I would usually recommend a stain or a cream blush. Now the thing is, I used a powder foundation, so powder blushes might look a little bit better, but I am going to use a cream blush because I feel like it's very important for you guys to understand that cream blushes probably look the most natural on somebody. They also have the best staying power. So I'm going to be using this color from Sonia Kashuk, and it's called Blossom number 3. Now I've used this already a ton. You guys can tell because literally there's nothing left, and I already have a backup of it because I love it so much. It is such a great color, and it is one of those colors that you feel when you put it on, it looks like you're not wearing too much. It's just the ideal color. So I'm going to just place this on like 2 or 3 of my fingers and then just kind of tap it onto my cheek and then rub it in with my other fingers and kind of like the palm of my hand. Now I'm using my fingers because I feel like with a brush you can usually over apply and just make it a little bit too harsh. I recommend to stay away from anything powdery like MAC skin finishes. They are great sometimes, but most of the time if you end up looking at yourself when you're outside in a mirror, you can tell that there's a lot of like glitter and sparkle and shimmer, and it's just not pretty. So we're gonna go ahead and use the High Beam by Benefit, which has been an all-time favorite for me. Now we're not going to over apply this highlight. What we're going to do is going to place this at the very top of our cheekbone, like there. And what you're doing is you're basically just making the face look like a little bit more like sun-kissed, I guess, because this is where the sun or whatever would naturally hit your face and where your face would usually kind of reflect a little bit of light. And so this is the place where you want to add this highlight and blend it in so it looks like it's not even there. So whenever you turn and there's light, it will end up looking like you are glowing and wearing like a dewy foundation. I am so sorry. It's like super duper cloudy outside and the lighting is terrible because of that. I'm trying to like keep you zoomed in because that's the only way I stay kind of bright, but it's literally like disgusting outside right now. Now, who said that when you are doing a natural makeup you're not supposed to put anything on your eyelids? I say that's wrong. So what we're going to do is take the e.l.f. eyelid primer and place that on our lids. Now I've had this one for forever. It's the mineral one, but I'm telling you the dollar one works just as great. I'm just trying to finish this one up because I'm so tired of having like a billion bottles of primer in my makeup drawers. So I'm trying to use this one up, but you can use whatever primer. And I'm telling you, the e.l.f. ones work just as good, but you really want a matte neutral toned primer for this, because in case you don't put on makeup in one certain area, you don't want any shimmery colors, because naturally your face does not have any shimmer on it. I don't know about you, but my eyelids tend to not really have any color, so I'm going to be taking the Warm palette from the Warm 88 palette, which I just broke like 5 seconds ago, in case you guys wanted to know. Oh god, this sucks. Oh no, I fixed it. Okay. So this palette, now I don't use it as much and I don't give it much love. Damn, it's gonna rain. I want to show you the colors that I would probably pick, because I know a lot of people own this. So the color that I would probably use for all over the lid is right here. It's the second one right here. It's a very nice neutral tone. This is a shadow. And we're gonna go ahead and place that on our eyelids. Now for that, I'm going to actually use another NYX pen, brush, because I tend to stay away from this one, but for this it's actually perfect. It looks like this, and the thing about this brush is the fact that it's so soft that it's not going to pile on color as pigmentally as it normally would. So taking that color, I'm going to just rub this brush all up in there, and then just rub it on my eyelid, and that way I get a little bit of a color tone, like just a bit, but not too much to the point where it's like, oh gosh, that is a lot of makeup. It's a matte brown. Now in my old Warm palette, I used it all up. Can you guys see me? No, you can't. I'm hiding, but I can see you. Anyways, this is what I used, and it is like the best crease color that you can possibly find that's like matte. So what we're going to do is make sure we take a really fluffy brush. Now when I say really fluffy, I mean ridiculously fluffy. Something that's a blending brush, has no color, super duper clean. We're going to take this, let me show you how this works. We're going to take that color and you're just going to dab it in there, tap off excess, like freaking crazy. And then we're just going to gently, with a really light hand, blend that in to the eye. The next thing you want to do is, if you can see on this eye, I made the outer part of my eye a little bit darker. Now what I'm going to do is taking like a little bit of a synthetic brush, it's a little bit like I don't know, it's kind of pointed. I'm going to take the darkest like browns in this palette, like this one and this one, and mix them together and apply them on the outer part of my eye. Now also remember to tap off excess, and then what we're going to do is close the eye and look down into a mirror and apply it on the lash line. I curled my lashes actually, so it looks like I have a little bit of a oomph on my lashes, but what we're going to do now is we're going to try our best to use a brown mascara. Now brown mascaras are probably the only ones that I would recommend for this situation, because they're kind of going to give you a color but not too much. So I'm going to take a small mirror, now this one's just on a bronzer because I need a mirror, and we're going to put it on. Now the thing is, when you're doing this, make sure you take the brush and as good as possible, take the tip and wipe it on something, whether it's on a towel or something, so that there's no clumping over here on the tip, because that is probably the most like clump prone part that's going to make your lashes like really clumpy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just move this around and like back and forth, kind of just like slightly just kind of like whipping our lashes. Oh, I'm done with the top lashes. Now I'm going to remind you that again, this is kind of like a dry mascara, not necessarily completely like brand new. So now that everything dried, I just went back and kind of just fixed my lashes so that they are like no clumps or whatever. So that means that this is completely dry, there's nothing on it, because I finished applying the other eye and then I just wiped it on a towel. Now because I wiped it on a towel already, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lightly press this on my bottom lashes. Now when you look at your colors of your lips, you have to look at it not from a perspective of like those are nude lips, like completely like not nude but like naked lips, you know. What you have to do is step away from the mirror, look at them and see what color it would match most. Now my lips I think are more of like a corally color, and this is the color that matches my lips the most. Now this is Coral Gleam by Maybelline, and it's a little bit of like my lip color but better. So what I'm going to do is make sure I wipe all my lips, and I'm going to place this only in the center. Don't work it outwards, so just the center. like that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our finger and just blend it in. So here it is. This is the better lighting. So this is what I look like in normal lighting. You can tell that I am wearing like blush a little bit. You can tell that I'm wearing a little bit of a lip color, and like my eyes, you can just see that my lashes look a little bit, you know, better than normal. So I'm sorry, you guys can see like the laundry in there, so let me just close that. But this is what I look like. This is my no makeup, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.